Hello, everyone. It is Mr. Z again. So now we're going to be doing cafes. So there's another template for another person who thought my idea was crazy. Yeah, for the most part, let's just say the Mediterranean really isn't the place to do business at all. Like, period. If you're thinking about doing a business in the Mediterranean, oh, forget it. Like, if it's not some old school type of business, so like what I mean by business, like not every business, like there's like old school businesses, so like like a call center, or like how do you say, like a business about medicine that hasn't really changed too much, but like, or like those, like like those old like 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, like those old school, like the businesses that no one really does anymore because all these developed countries have now just decided to go into other industries. So stuff like that. So pretty much all the forgotten industries that people just basically forgot about because they don't care, because it's not really beneficial. So for example, I meant, okay, yeah, health you always need that, so that's kind of more universal, but like stuff like, as they say, like a restaurant, people need to eat. That's a little bit different. But like plumbing and welding and all that, like not so much. People are all these so-called factory work, like manufacturing. Like no one does that anymore. Like the majority of all the jobs in Asia and even in America, like the good paying jobs, not the shitty jobs. They're all tech jobs or something in medicine, or even they're now calling it whatchamacallit, med tech, medical technology. So, or now we have like fintech, financial technology. Yeah, people invest in everything like that. There's investors, but like now they're incorporating like obviously artificial intelligence and all this other type of stuff. So, but it's just mad. And you're saying to myself, like, and then you go into the mind, oh, maybe I can do all that. Oh, no. And then you look at all these jobs that people don't do anymore. And you're just like, what year am I living in? But again, the rest of Europe, I wouldn't, well, it's just the Mediterranean. The rest of Europe, depending on where it is, but for the most part, I think they're pretty good. They're pretty good for stuff. Like they're not exactly like America, but at least they have a concept and an idea, and the foundation is there. Like they want to give it a shot because they're kind of just like, okay, why not? Let's see where it goes. So, but yeah, like but as well, the big factor is that in the Mediterranean, there's a lot of elderly people. Yeah, I live in the Mediterranean, but yeah, that's the big thing, is that in Germany and Switzerland and all these other places, there's still a big youth population, so the demand is there. But the Mediterranean is kind of the opposite. Like the demand isn't there because the youth are leaving because there's so many elderly people and they're going to all these other countries, and then you get the idea. But today we got a cafe, another template. So this is for another person who I thought, oh yeah, nah. They're just like, oh well, and then so I made a template. The same so great. I made a template for nothing. That's the pro. That's what I said. Like great. I'm saying to myself, great. Now I'm making these templates for nothing, and what the hell am I gonna do? And then I kind of said to myself, wait a minute. How about these templates? I also have other templates on DeepSeek. I have them on Claude. I have them on all these other AIs. Quen for like I use it for logo design and everything, which is actually very, very good. So I'm just like, okay, great. Like, what am I going to do with it? So then I said to myself, I started thinking, AI is taking off. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to YouTube, see how that turns out. So there you go. So that's kind of how it started. So I've been trying to do the AI thing for a month. It's trying to talk to people, but trust me, here in the Mediterranean, it's like, how do I put it? It's like trying to explain to fish how to walk on land. Yeah, you kind of understand. Fishes swim in the sea, and if you take it here and put it on the sidewalk, it's just gonna flop around and say, what the fuck is this guy doing? What's this person doing? I can't survive on land. I need to be in the ocean. Or like trying to, like, I don't know, throw a, I don't know, how do you say, a bird and say, hey, swim. And then the bird's going to be drowning because the bird doesn't know how to swim and knows how to fly. So it's one of those scenarios. So go figure, right? But again, as I said, it has to do with, as I say, the majority of the youth. There are some, but it's not the same. Like, there's some youth, maybe a handful of people, maybe enough to count on your hand, or maybe on both. But like business wise, but like for the most part, the majority of businesses here are pretty much people who don't really understand technology, or people who are about to retire and are so excited to, I don't know, enjoy their life, whatever that's supposed to mean. So it's basically it's either one, that the person doesn't have a clue on what they're doing, or the other one is that. So yeah, so I did YouTube and said to myself, I might as well brush up the old YouTube and do that. So so this one was for a business. So they're a cafe, but they're like one of those, like, how do you say it? Those like new cafes where, like, you know, like, since like healthy eating is now a big thing, kale and all that and all that type of stuff, you know, because all those, what is it again, GMOs and I don't know, GMOs or GFOs or whatever the hell they're called. Again, I don't, at this stage, just like all those chemicals that are supposedly chemical free, and then you find out that all these vegan foods aren't actually that chemical free because there's more chemicals to make them instead of just eating an actual cow. So it's one of those. So it's a cafe. So as you can see here, prompts and everything. I tried doing some stuff, and it's in Spanish, but then I tried translating it into English. So like all the prices I made for sandwiches and all that type of stuff. So as you can see here, so world famous, this is the template. Obviously, this is somewhat of a dummy template. Insert your name, and then the tagline. This is kind of like one of those like regular taglines of like, nourish your body and drive your soul. So one of those dummy ones. Obviously, in About Us, you need to know who you're about. It's just like, okay, I opened up a company, great, but what are you about? What are you? What do you sell? You're a healthy place, but what do you sell? So here they have obviously organic smoothies, protein shakes. So again, healthy. So like all those gym bros or posers who like to take selfies on Instagram, who are more interested in taking selfies than actually working out. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. We all have those people in the gym. Creatine powder. So creatine powder is for, like, you know, getting reducing water and getting ripped, and then you have to add that with like certain food and everything, and you have to go like on a certain like special diet, have more protein and then reduce more fat, and then that gives you like more energy and all that type of stuff. And then we have superfood bowls, like superfood, like explain kale and all this type of stuff, seaweed, all that. Cold pressed juices, obviously herbal teas. Obviously herbal teas are beneficial. So there's science to back that up. So like obviously like mint and everything and all that, and the chamomile has like a calming effect and all that type of stuff. As I say, keto, vegan, gluten free. So selling point. So like, how would you market it? So like, well, first of all, they are organic and locally sourced. So like, you know, like fresh vegetables, all that type of stuff, GMO free or all that type of stuff, all those buzzwords as I explained before. You got menu plans and detox programs. So like, how would you want to customize your menu? Do you want to be more protein? Do you want to have more vegetables? Do you want to have more high energy? All that type of stuff. Pre-workout. So pre-workout is basically kind of like, I guess it's kind of like remember, so in the 80s and 90s, the big thing was steroid abuse. So it's kind of like jacking yourself up on steroids, but instead of it being steroids, it's kind of like extra energy. And obviously creatine, so obviously they say to reduce water retention, to build more muscle, all that type of stuff. Obviously scientifically backed, and obviously they have a big Instagram following. So obviously with the target audience is obviously gym bros or gym gals or Instagram influencers who are posers. So that's something within itself. Athletes, healthy conscious individuals, so people who want to obviously who are health conscious, who are fitness influencers or gurus or personal trainers or anything like that. What else is there? Tour locals looking for unique healthy options, because they say you don't have to be a gym bro or anything like that. Maybe you just want to eat healthy, or maybe you want to eat healthier because, I don't know, maybe you got a result and the doctor said, hey, you shouldn't be eating fast food all the time. You need to cut your fast food intake down by 50% if you don't want to get, I don't know, some sort of health problem or whatever it could be, or stuff like that. So I did the menu here. So obviously, some of the stuff would be obviously €6.17. That's not a lot, to be honest. There's other places in Europe that are way higher, even in America, to get like a nice fancy smoothie at like one of these like good places. You're going to be paying a good, what am I talking about? Not even $6. That's the pass. Maybe $20, $30, because it's farm fed, locally organic. Like you're gonna be paying double, triple friggin' digits for stuff like that. Oh yeah, because inflation is crushing people. Please help me. It's like that meme. Please help me, and then the person doesn't do anything, and then it's just kind of, you just drown. Everyone. I don't have to explain it. I don't have to show the meme because everyone's seen the meme by now. So there's that. So pretty much all around, this type of stuff is pretty much the same. And then you got some tea. So obviously that like two like that's nothing, bro. Like I just say, like tea and all these healthy things. Like I'm saying, like, you're going to be paying at least 15 or more for stuff like that. Like oof. Like trust me. So then obviously like you got this, and then it gives you like like as well. What I like about this too is like with the ChatGPT and other ones, I'm going to compare it, but like, it gives you the amount of calories because supposedly people are calorie conscious or something like that, because they don't want to get fat or something, or all that type of stuff, because something to do with carb, all that type of stuff. But they don't get fat, and then this and that, and then my super cool workout type of stuff won't work or something along those lines. We got tea and espresso, cappuccino. So obviously there's coffee. People who work out still drink coffee because, tiredness and all that type of stuff. Then you got vegan cheesecake. I would not eat anything vegan. After watching some documentaries, trust me, bro. If you knew what was inside this type of stuff, you would not eat it. But again, protein packed brownie. So obviously, depending on the cacao level, so the purity of the chocolate, basically meaning the higher the cacao level, basically the less sugar it has. So basically, like, it's, how do I put it? Like, the reason why chocolate tastes so good is because it has a lot of sugar in it, and it'll probably give you diabetes. So there's that. And then you got this, as I said, and then you got some fresh baked goods. So we have whole wheat croissant. I don't like whole wheat at all. I'm more of a white bread person. But the shell, it's healthy and stuff like that. Yeah, but no. I'm not a gym bro. I'm just a guy who's an influencer. That's all I am. Gluten free. Yeah, gluten free. I think the reason why it's gluten free is because people were saying back, like, I was seeing some documentary about some guy, and the guy was talking about, like, have you ever noticed now that everything's now gluten free, or this lactose this, or like back when I was growing up, I never had any. We never heard about any of these things at all. Like, it was just like people would have milk and this and that, and they wouldn't have any problems. Yeah, again, the guy was saying, yeah, because the amount of chemicals and the amount of preservatives and everything that we put into stuff is insane. So there's that too. And then you got some beverages. We got an ice cold latte. That's, yeah, kind of like Starbucks, pretty much. Like those ice lattes, those are nice. We got the lattes. And then we got Coca-Cola. Don't ask. but it's Coca-Cola Zero, so zero sugar. God, like seriously, like it's like it reminds me of that Family Guy thing where like a fat woman drinking Diet Coke. Now I can drink. Now I can eat anything because it says diet on it. Like it's one of those. A beer. Yeah, some people have beer, like depending on how extreme you are. Some people are so extreme they have no beer because because the beer gives you like there's certain chemicals in the beer that give you like what's called beer belly. So that's not really a good idea. But some people drink, but they don't drink too much. Um, and because they're Hispanic, they have what's called empanadas. So an empanada basically is kind of like it's like a Jamaican patty, but it's called something different. So we got the goat cheese, the vegetables, tuna, then some sandwiches, toasted sandwich with tuna and arugula, and ham and cheese. So why? So obviously, why would you choose them? Obviously, as I said, it's organic, it's fresh, no artificial sweeteners, preservatives, or additives. That's debatable. If you watch some documentaries about the chemicals in the vegan food, you'll reconsider certain things. But aside from that, vegan, gluten-free, keto-friendly options, and that's another new buzzword, keto, because it's so healthy. It's like, yeah, go get the keto, get the kale, bro, do all that type of stuff. So what would be good marketing strategies to do this? So obviously you would need to have a social media presence, but you would have to have influencers or athletes. So like, all the gym bros or all the athletes, people like Sidney Crosby or was Kobe Bryant, and who else would there would be all these types of people. I don't really know. I know athletes, so like who else would be another athlete that's pretty famous? LeBron James, all those types of people. So like that would be that. Another one would be meal plans. So obviously like meal plans, there's lots of places now that are coming up with meal plans for people who are on the go, busy. You can have like a meal plan, loyalty rewards. If you have like 5 meal plans, like the next 2 are free, or you get like an extra dish or something along those lines. Obviously collaboration with fitness studios and wellness brands, so like Good Life Fitness, all that type of stuff. Not Good Life Fitness, Lifetime Fitness. I'm confusing myself with something else. But Good Life is another fitness place, like Lifetime, Good Life, all that type of stuff. Again, like what trends would you follow? So like if there's like a new fitness trend, like this is this new trend where if you starve yourself or if you fast, some people fast in the sense because they want to lose more weight or something along those lines, or like they don't eat from this time to this time and then they have the big meal or something along those lines, or like what's the new fitness trend about, like I don't know, eating this type of food or whatever it could be. So what would your revenue streams be? So like how would you break it down? So do you have how much percentage is your in-store? How much percentage is from your online store? Obviously, as I said, meal subscription plans. So like all that type of what merchandise do you have? Do you have water bottles, workout gear, all that type of stuff? Do you have exclusive like powder products? Like this is only like with the UFC, so I had the UFC type of stuff and all those types of things. Like sustainable commitment, we're partners with local farmers, we're such and such free, we don't do any animal testing, all that type of stuff. Order and delivery, you can either do Uber Eats, you can do DoorDash, stuff like that. Obviously your website, free delivery or over orders over $20 or 20 euros. Pickup available at select locations, not all locations, because if you're doing it online, that's a little bit different. You need obviously your location, hours of operation, your contact, like a phone number, which I don't really think a phone number is useful because who calls nowadays? Well, unless you're in the Mediterranean, but most people don't. So that's why I'm going to show later on. I did it on Claude, where you can just completely order online and you never even have to see a person ever again, because that's a lot more beneficial in today's time. And then it will just go straight to the kitchen or straight to the through the app of like, you know, DoorDash or whatever, and then after, then the driver just goes and then just delivers your food, and then that's it. What's your website, obviously, and obviously like what's your Instagram, Twitter, X. Some people still call it Twitter, X, TikTok, stuff like that. And then obviously like a nice like, hey, come visit us at such and such for a nice healthy experience, or if not, you can just order online. You can do that as well. But yeah, and thank you everyone for watching. And remember to like, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, Mr. Z out.